I'm still using the 5G. Which one do you think is stronger, the 5G or the internet? Yeah, that's 5.24. Right now it's just 5G. I think I need it here. I'm gonna zoom from there and then I need the tax here. Okay. Do it like that. She said I need to see me. Yeah. There's enough.
Yeah, you're on our Wi-Fi.
Thank you. That's so cute. So much.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello? Can somebody hear me? Hello? Let Dharma friends on live stream.
Retirene tanto con Bochi, Drop to Wari, the Litina, the Tamagati, Tata, of the Lama to the Yuma de Esi, Rindera Tata to the Latritivala, Gorum Bochi Rang, long team, and again the Nichati Kamna, Karimang Bonjongore, the Vela T, Tisalatrita, Lot upon Gorum Bochi, Tata wants to get the Tamasuki, Tashi.
So today we are starting our Guru Rinpoche retreat, as we are doing every year. And according to Guru Rinpoche's prophecy, now is also a time where we experience much difficulties, suffering in this world. And for this reason, we are performing the Guru Rinpoche retreat every year. So please join in the practice, and thank you, Dashdelet.
Page 1 for Yellow Prayer Book.
Yellow Prayer Book, page 1. All Mother sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious, unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment. All Mother sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious, unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment. For that purpose, until I attain Buddhahood, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. Until death, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. From today until this time tomorrow, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. I take refuge in the Buddhas until attaining the essence of awakening. Likewise, I take refuge in the Dharma and in the assembly of the bodhisattvas. Just as the Buddhas of the past gave rise to bodhicitta and progressed along the bodhisattva's path, so shall I give rise to bodhicitta for the benefit of all beings and practice the stages of the bodhisattva's path. I take refuge in the Buddhas until attaining the essence of awakening. Likewise, I take refuge in the Dharma and in the assembly of the bodhisattvas. Just as the Buddhas of the past gave rise to bodhicitta and progressed along the bodhisattva's path, so shall I give rise to bodhicitta for the benefit of all beings and practice the stages of the bodhisattva's path. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and the other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and the other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. May all Mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness in the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all Mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness in the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Garchen Rinpoche Sadhana, page 1.
So the texts are on the website for download. We're going to be doing the sadhana called the supplication to the lineage of peaceful Guru Rinpoche, according to Padma Lingpa's Terma. Page 1. Protector of the blissful land, Amitabha, Buddha of infinite light, Avalokiteshvara, venerated Padmasambhava, noble lady Yeshe Sogyo, Princess Pema Sal, great Tirtan Padma Lingpa, Siddha Zelpa Zong, Gyalwang Namchak, Chogyal Punsak, Choki Dragpa, and Penshin Lundrup, Trinley Zangpo, Donkun Drupe Pao, Tenzin Drodu, Lotro Choki, Gyal, Choki Nima, Pema Gyamsen, Choki Gyamsen, Maha Manju, Tempe Zenyen, and Shoni Norbu. Root Guru Father and your sons, I beseech you from the bottom of my heart, please dispel adversity and obstacles. Please bestow your blessings to attain common and supreme accomplishments. Having realized all wishes that accord with Dharma unobstructedly, may I seize the royal seat of the Dharmakaya, the final truth, and enter the sublime Pure Land, great bliss, without reliving a samsaric birth. Page 5. Namo, to the Guru who embodies all those gone to bliss and whose nature is the triple gem. I and all beings of the six realms take refuge until we reach awakening. Having given rise to bodhicitta and accomplished the Guru for the sake of all beings, I vow to free the six realms by acts that tame all beings according to their needs.
Manda yendo yo, Khenpo sem che tun sengo, yanda dorje, dondo yo, Lama ye dan la to she, ye da be me den la yo. Lunga ye sam good san san, sana san sun chu bambu, yam cho de zhe tor xian xia, yang ha zhe la jie ye rang, men zhe sang ha qiang ke ge. Yang manda yin dun yo, nian bo tun jian dun de ngo, yang da dor jie dun do yo.
Guru and assembly of Yidam deities, please come here and be seated on this throne of lotus, sun, and moon. I sincerely pay homage with my body, speech, and mind, and I make outer, inner, and secret offerings. I openly confess all impaired and broken vows, evil deeds, and obscurations. I rejoice in the accomplishment of secret mantra. Please turn the secret mantra Dharma wheel that matures and liberates. I pray, do not pass into nirvana, but continue to remain for the benefit of others. I dedicate the heart essence for the sake of sentient beings. May they realize the true meaning of Vajra.
Om Gana Dada Hom Om Sobhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Sobhava Shuddha Hom Tombe Gale Om Le So Rinpoche Hu Yang Chen Ja Che Vena Ahon Shava Le Song Tulma Tang Shen Thopa Mebe Sap Deva Che Ba Che Che Na Ba Nong Khan Tha Dang Yan Ba Ju.
From emptiness arises Om, from which appears jeweled vessel, broad and vast. Within it, Om, Ah, and Hum merge into a pure and unimpeded torma that produces extraordinary, flawless bliss, and that fills the boundaries of space.
Om Aho, Om Aho, Om Aho, Om Agara Moga Sarva Dharma Ade Dube Nathuda Om Aho Besova Om Agara Moga Sarva Dharma Ade Dube Nathuda Om Aho Besova Om Agara Moga Sarva Dharma Ade Dube Nathuda Besova Tevjin Sheba Renche Mala Samsalo Tevjin Sheba Sunze Tambala Samsal Tevjin Sheba Kanjam Lela Samsal Tevjin Sheba Jiva Tamchet Yonsa Jarvela Samsalo.
Homage to the Tathagata, many jewels. Homage to the Tathagata, sublime form. Homage to the Tathagata, limitless body. Homage to the Tathagata, beyond all fear.
ju zebe Jen dorman dejela nende mando yende
Spirits who obstruct accomplishments inside the three roots mandala, accept this torma offering and leave, going someplace else.
Sambane, hong, hong, bai. Gahana, gahana, hong, hong, bai. Gahana, paya, hong. Anaya, ho, banga, bearanda, hong, hong, bai. Hong, ane, yana, nganga, do. Sanjo, Tomoy, Nang, Pai, Gong. Genda, Tome, Ron, Tamle. Sayan, Davar,
My nature is primordial innate wrath, the space-pervading gods of wrath and the hindrance-taming wrathful goddesses have set the boundaries that no one may transcend. Om Vajra Kroda Raksha Brum Hom.
Om Benda Mahadroda Rakshadro Unda Ravyangha Om Benda Agava Om Benda Bhadeva Om Benda Vivea Om Benda Divea Om Benda Alogea Om Benda Vindea Mandala Hong Raja Umaraho Maharada Dola Manda Hong Raja Umaraho Maharada Raja Umaraho Mahabalinda Hong Raja Umaraho Mahabalinda Hong Raja Umaraho Mahabalinda Hong Raja.
Emanating myriad forms from inside the Dharmadhatu basic space, Lama Yedam Dakini and the oceanic host of oath-bound ones, please remember your heart pledge and send out great resplendence.
Om Gubazan Guru Deva Drake Samaya Jana Avensha Jana Meme Adome Mandolo Sandanyen Le
Page 12. Hum, hum. In the condition where phenomena are empty and without a reference point, I cultivate compassion, love, and kindness for all sentient beings. From the causal Hri arises Yam, Ram, Bam, Lam, and Sum, which respectively turn into space, wind, fire, water, earth, and Mount Meru composed of precious substances. At its center is a multicolored lotus, at the heart of which is a crossed vajra with a broom at its hood, transforming into a boundless jeweled palace, replete with the perfect qualities and dazzling light. In the protection sphere surrounding it, upon a multicolored lotus and the sun and moon, is a Hri, the expression of my own awareness, which transforms into the lotus-born white with a tinge of red and with the useful radiance of a child. My right hand holds a vajra at the heart, while my left hand holds a skull cup filled with nectar placed in equipoise below my navel. My crown is adorned with a lotus hat, a vulture's feather, strips of silk, and a mirror emanating rays of light. I am garbed in a brocade cloak, red silk and dharma robes, and a blue gown. My ears, hands, feet, neck, and waist are all adorned with golden jewels. Sitting gracefully in Vajra pose, a Katvanga staff is resting on my left shoulder. Surrounding me are Guru Totrin Sal's four classes, Guru Rinpoche's 8 manifestations, Dakas, Dakinis, warrior Gings, Dharma protectors, and a host of haughty ones, all of whom are gathering like rain clouds in the sky. From the body, speech, and mind of these envisioned deities, light streams forth to invite the Guru and the 3 roots from the southwestern Yaktel Isle, who then appear and merge with me. Northwest land, Uddiyana, born in a lotus pollen heart, is the one resound is lotus born, who found wondrous and supreme accomplishment, and is surrounded by a host of dakas and dakinis. Emulating you, I will devote myself to practice. Please come here and grant your blessings. Rajas. Please remain on this delightful seat at the center of this splendid, boundless palace, emanating bodies as many as there are atoms in the universe. I pay homage with devoted body, speech, and mind.
Samaya Dejale Adebo Badeda Wanjyo Shabzer Medob Marmeta Jaze Ngado Roman Chubam Sabje Donjar Menje Juden Jarve Rata Malen Jinden Chubab Yarian Yanjo Yabe Edon Dedon Menje Mezon Chuba Jesus So.
Page 15. I offer water for drinking, water for bathing the feet, flowers, incense, lamplight, fragrances, food and music, such that of drums and conch shells. I offer supreme Amrita composed of the 8 main components and 1,000 branches, rakta formed of causes and conditions and an embellished torma. The Yabyum union is supreme delight, the final truth, a state of innate empty bliss. Please accept this wondrous offering.
Amada Mahabrat Malinda Anurangaya Amandra Pandra
Form, appearing yet void, void yet appearing. Ah, homage and praise to the Guru's speech, heard yet void, void yet heard. Home, homage and praise to the Guru's mind, void yet clear, clear yet void. Praise to you who are endowed with boundless qualities and tame beings with enlightened deeds.
Atam jela meko dene juba alo juba lam jela me son salom ayeme Nadayam Dendo Tam Jelameto Yena Jaga Nane Adonza Zadira da do sa de bendo don sa yen denam nayam jan khala je masa bad
Page 18. Hum, hum, hum. All appearance is the Guru's form, primordially present, ah la la. All sound is the Guru's speech, inseparably united wind and mantra, the primordial nada melody. All thoughts are the Guru's mind, originally pure in the primordial Dharmakaya. The sound of mantra echoes naturally across the cosmos of a billion worlds. By sending it out, it fulfills the needs of sentient beings, and when it gathers back, it merges with the space of the primordial mother. Until clarity is achieved, I will visualize and meditate. Until this practice is accomplished, I will not abandon it.
home bed and go to my second home.
All the way. Yeah. That they was a lot of Gorbochi, Dr. Sa Soto, that you do that say, Governor Chabati, Jerry, they come to the Lala Chepa, Mina Yang, the young, got taught to work with the Nita, name with the Detang, Kadag, Letang, Kapal, and somebody, the Yamiya Teta, Yuri, the Litavina, the Litata, support them Gorbochi, Dina, the little the little was such as a long time, the Mong that you get Samala, the Tadan Gorbochiranga Songuri, Nabja Tama, Tudi, Humana, Seventeen of the Montonga Rasi, the little Montonga Radi, the Montonga Ranju, you said. You Montonga Ranju, he was the Carrier. You what down at the little Tower, the Yichitar Mariva. I took the car was done, very chatty, dumped up when he ate each other, Churang and Tomatapa. Dumped up the dumpty cherry, Chata Sasso, Jelly, Yori, Yena, Dammato, Chetty, and Tomatapa Chadi Yori. They were the same time here, the decision was Yori. Yena, the social was same time, the decision was Yojang, the decision was drawing chops on my lady. The chicken was around or crossing that chur, no one, none, Damdata, Chasumari, Theater, Newman up the water, the Tatil Mangos Yori, Dizzy Yuma, Kadak, Numa, Safety Yuma, Tetam, Mambosuna Yori, they tell them, the one that same Yuma, the Carita Numa, but it. Same Yuma, the Numa, one. The carry the Litata and Gordon Bojo, so devil, Dimana, that's somebody that like the top man, they tell young Soki Laguerre, Guru Butcher, Angus Glory. Mongol and Dida, younger age, Chitora. God, the Lita, Teba Chongo, Lady Mishia Chakayari. Lita territory, Jungwa Dralang, Tatang son Juanga de Latani. Sejuanga, Nangjuanga, Sawanjuanga, Ori, they Kaka Yori. They told they looked to Shigo also. They tell him Gorboch Rangasong, that was the dance that and tell. They turned that on Tong, Yabaring so, Nayam, Marcho, that's the Dabarina. Then they were doing Tong Yabari. The Caris is one is hungry, some of Aguri. They so song Gorboke, Sugar Song Nori. The song that they had the Tamsil Messiah, Lang of Tuki, Gojuki, teacher, the three, that don't go about to watch your head.
So today we started the Guru Rinpoche Sadhana practice as we do every year, and we have made that widely available all over the world. And so generally speaking, all the deities are the same. But even though there's no difference between the different deities, there's a certain time when a practice becomes very beneficial. So there's a certain time and a certain individual with a certain karmic fortune that is then destined to engage in this practice. And that was actually a prophecy given by Guru Rinpoche himself. The Buddha actually first gave a prophecy when he spoke about the final 500 years of the degenerate age. Then also Guru Rinpoche gave a prophecy saying that at the end of times, during the degenerate age, the 5 kinds of degeneration in sentient beings will be rampant. The 5 poisons, the afflictive emotions in the minds of sentient beings will be coarse, and beings' mind will become ordinary. So what is an ordinary afflictive emotion? It is that when the afflictive emotion is completely unrestrained and we are in a constant state of affliction, there's no trust in the view, the nature of the mind. One has separated from bodhicitta. It is just like water having mixed with earth and became mud, muddy. Even though the muddy water is still water, you can't use it, you can't drink it because the water has mixed with the earth. So similarly, even though sentient beings possess Buddha nature, all the sentient beings also in the 3 lower realms possess Buddha nature. It is said that Buddha nature pervades all beings. However, even though they possess Buddha nature, they have lost autonomy, they've lost their freedom of mind. It is just like water having mixed with dirt and having turned into mud. So we speak about 5 different kinds of degeneration, the degenerate time. So there's degenerate time, there's the degenerate individual, the degenerate affliction. But in brief, what actually is degenerate is really the affliction within the mind. That is what degenerates. And that point is actually also clearly explained in supplication in 7 chapters, called 7 chapter supplication with Guru Rinpoche. Guru Rinpoche himself had predicted in the future, this is what will happen to you beings. And this is contained in this prayer prediction. And so during this time, in brief, it says that during this time, the faith in beings will diminish, and they will not understand karma, cause and effect. It is a time where the elements will rise as our enemy. And so for the elements, the 5 elements, there is an outer, inner, and a secret aspect. And Guru Rinpoche said that we need to understand the nature of these elements. Now, when we, for example, look at the present day world, we can see the destruction caused by elements too. For example, also nowadays we experience degenerations like we had a pandemic and there is warfare. We can see all kinds of suffering in the world. So Guru Rinpoche explained the reason for such suffering, such degeneration. And so in order to introduce you to that is why we engage in the Guru Rinpoche practice.
당보 사지 좀 되게 손에 저랭이 다 드르데 라랑게 되는 유몽벌레 포토마메 말사 딜레데 미니들이 다다 다데 저거 요래 딜레데 미니들이 레데 속에서 요래들 다샘 난게 유몽 난 유몽 아티 유몽 같은 데와 요래 대외에 되는 유몽 아티 상용왕이 상용왕 아티더니 tata koba pasi jita jela nyumong rang juga nga nyumong nga cha de nyumong de yishi ji so re yo te ha ko go re nyumong de yishi so re ka all the same derchik yumbo yori isi. Derchik yumbo all the yumu wa kamen yungore dine. O chota oma nangjin, semjin tanaka rangi shije de, choje de tili yobani. Bena mejina, ya, something on the same day, semsao yena. 항상 어떻게 고소래 고소지 고소지가 가리고 그래 다른 게 낭매뿐이나 앞에는 초과용 거 요래 고소지 사배식 요래 내가 진짜 뉴모를 내가 뉴바디 진짜 거래 내가 되면 사지 찾자서 봐도 상기지 사조가 생존을 소탈 상생제 소설때 특바 청문서나 소설타 봐라는 탈고는 레지브에 하고 송시 들이 대소를 배경만 했더니 랑 짝짝 탈때 sem자 총소들이 이 나기 냐마 탈거리 다 상촉 생제 진핑을 원냐면 제거래서 대제 소리 상하들 상하들 무슨 상마 탐제 님 민성수고 생기야다 생기들이 심지 참사지 저래 생기들 사지 좀 송찰 대하고 대상하지 샘유 받아 다른 생기들 사지 그래서 동네 돈이 찍혀요. 동네 뭐도라 되게 잡아시고 잡만 거는 거지요 말이 대회는 들이 다다다지 상생당 상하들이 많고 다 채고 그래 이게 가리들 동네 두자고 뒤뒤저대 초롱으로 동네 강에서 하고는 접대가 맥세라 대들이 다다다 사다는 종화담지 망치기 시에 말이 되게 다 니나 송만하지 야 사달라를 사요 저좀 쳐달라를 저정제 다처럼 남과 다들이 가시를 처음에 되다고 용어를 야 다들이 매 달라는 애들이 다시 나타나다 니나 송만하지 때 세상을 때제 인간들 저를 세로하더니 니는 니다보다 은행 용군할 때 강릉 용대는 다 따와 그 세고는 게 유명한 것 같아 마음이네 내가 떠올랐더니 다다다 무슨 정거요래 무슨 정래 내게 말이 남들은 다 되는데 동네에 적 강에서 저 유머 벌어서 대위도 저 계시고 요래 대하고서나 되게 샘지 탐지가 동네 설반을 안 하는 게 변고 서가 하고는 뒤쪽거들이 라는 거 동네에 더 봐도 좀 관리 새로 해주요 뭐 이런 거 동의세를 탑대다 상지에 쏘는 거라 그랬지. 데이터로 하고는 대신 뭐 조제제 제대다 그런 것이 무슨 때 사바를 만나요 때 세티 이 나바기 양고 거래 요래 롱디 통통데 요래 대외를 더 동의도 뭐 조제 다 동의대 강의 용대 동의 시발사지 동의대 시달 때 공정고 가사지 다시 싸움하다나 들 잡을게 미 레지브레이션이 몇이 있나? 내가 사와 가르쳐도 야 레지브레이 미신이 뭐를 가르쳐도 다 딱딱 때는 잡으려니 배나 야단 내호가 잡으려 뭐 가서 있어서 야 다소니지 사서 리제리들 다양한 마속자 양문을 갈아매 봐도 뭐겠어 다 대도 소소를 머리랑 걸 위는 머리 뒤중 거리 다 레지브레이 마시리 중을 했지 레지브레이 마시리 때 갈거 봐서 나도 좋아지는 나만 내건 거다 이왕도 손을 다다다 내가 싸움을 들어서 좀 레벨대로 미고요래 이 샘지 탑재 대가 말게 명은 샘지에 대도 텀에 뉴모바 대도 텀에 레사죠 봐 탑재 다디 가오를 책으로 디 가오를 책 달래도 미고요 대는 돈만이니 대도 하고나 소체 동의데 뉴모베 레이도 대디 야도 레사죠 레냠도 미고도 대는 동의실이 영평으로 다다 동의데 레리스 대대 저들 지금 제터봐 대도 배고요 하자 기초고요然后 동네시 봐서 동네시 거는 다들 동네에 감리성 대시고 티켓들이 내송고요 했지.
So there's this section that comes of text that comes from the is also added to the Dambala practice. There's also a smoke offering, And many disciples have distributed that widely and then engaged in practice nowadays. And there's a section that is in the Sadhana. This comes from the supplication by Guru Rinpoche, which is called the spontaneous accomplishment of all wishes. And in there, it explains the nature of the degeneration that we just discussed. And so through this prayer, we can understand. What we understand here, the degeneration that we understand here is that all the suffering in the world, where does it come from? The Buddha first said that first the cause is karma, negativities, and obscurations. It is also an afflictive emotion. The afflictive emotions that we have habituated to since beginningless time. With an afflicted mind, we create karma, and that will ripen into suffering. So who has created all of that? It is our own state of mind, our afflicted state of mind, 5 afflictive emotions. And the 5 afflictive emotions are connected to the 5 outer elements. And there's also a secret aspect to the 5 elements. And they are connected to the 5 the 5 inner afflictive emotions within our mind. So samsaric sentient beings are ordinary because their mind is in a state of affliction. Essentially, afflictive emotion by nature is never separate from wisdom. That is an important point to understand. What that means is that all beings really possess Buddha nature. So if all beings possess Buddha nature, then how come beings are so afflicted? It is just like water being mixed with milk. Sentient beings' mind is like water, but it temporarily becomes afflicted. For example, if a person generally is very loving, has a clear mind, when they get angry, they will immediately recognize, I'm getting angry. And what they recognize is that anger leads to suffering. For example, it leads to conflict between you and your friends or your family members. So a person with a clear mind understands the afflictive emotion and its consequences the moment it arises. And so the Buddha Shakyamuni had first therefore cultivated a mind of bodhicitta, of love and compassion. And so in the past we speak about the path of individual liberation and the bodhisattva path. And according to the great vehicle, the Mahayana, we do not only seek liberation for ourselves. So first we recognize on the pratimoksha, individual liberation, we recognize that if I want to become liberated, I need to understand the workings of karma. So the Buddha taught, observe the workings of karma carefully. And so then one must engage in practice. And as one continues to engage in practice, observing karma, eventually one reaches the state of the bodhisattvas, where one recognizes that the wish for one's own liberation is very narrow-minded. So one then reaches higher and equalizes self with others. One wishes for the liberation of self and others. One cultivates an altruistic mind. And then that finally leads to the result, the fruition, which is the Vajrayana on the secret level. And so here, basically, we recognize that we all possess Buddha nature. Even all the sentient beings in the 3 lower realms possess the potential, the cause of enlightenment. The Buddha said that all beings are actually Buddhas. That is, when sentient beings separate from the afflictive emotions, then they are Buddhas. Their natural state is Buddha. So no one wants to experience suffering, even though we don't want to suffer. We don't know what causes to abandon in order to avoid suffering. And if we do not abandon the causes of suffering, we cannot avoid the result of suffering. And according to Guru Rinpoche's supplication, he gave a prediction that in the future sentient beings in degenerate times will experience so much suffering. And it is during these times of overwhelming suffering that the teachings of the bodhisattvas and the Vajrayana become very significant. That is a time when sentient beings are so overwhelmed with suffering that they will begin to recognize the cause of their suffering. So the eyes to karma will open within them. And so that is something that many of you, many in the practitioners are familiar with. And so there is this text now where Guru Rinpoche explains, gives a prediction what will happen in the future. For example, he says in the future then, when the earth turns against us, when the earth becomes our enemy, there will be earthquakes and temples will collapse. And then when water turns against us, ships will disintegrate and there will be death. There will be death from accidents, and the Rasa Turnang, which is the Tsok temple and so on, all will be harmed by water. And then when fire turns against us, Samya will be burned and disintegrate, and so forth. So in essence, the elements turn against us because they are directly connected, they're related to our inner state of mind, our afflictive emotions. It is when the mind is in an immature state, it becomes toxic. And this leads to much harm also on the outer level. The outer and the inner are interconnected. That is the cause of all the suffering experienced presently in the world. So it's very important to recognize the afflictive emotion to be the root cause of suffering. And that is something we have to apply to ourselves, not just to other sentient beings. That is the cause of suffering in this life, in future lives, and in the Bardo, because the mind cannot die. And therefore the Buddha gave us a method to separate our mind from the root cause of suffering. And that is now what we are introduced to here in the Guru Rinpoche practice, in this supplication prayer by Guru Rinpoche, which comes from the aspiration prayer for the spontaneous accomplishment of wishes. And is also included within the summoning of good fortune of the Sambhala of practicing the extensive sadhana. So in any case, first, we are introduced to suffering. We need to recognize the origin of suffering. In fact, the Buddha first said, you must understand suffering, and secondly, you must abandon the origin of suffering. And for example, when we look around us in the world, what does a person who really understands karma do? How do they act? And how does a person act who doesn't understand karma? We can see that in this world. For example, we have just been through a pandemic, and how many people have died during the pandemic. And even though some were spared from the pandemic, some other people then find other ways to take their lives. So for example, by starting wars, or by depriving people from sources of food, then they starve to death, and so forth. And so all of this is the fault of not understanding the workings of karma, cause and effect, and not understanding karma. One considers oneself as most important. One is completely caught up in a mental state of it's me, all about me. So then one engages in corresponding actions and experiences corresponding suffering as a result. So we need to recognize that it begins with the afflictive emotions in the minds of sentient beings, and with an afflicted mind they act, so they accumulate karma, and this karma then ripens into suffering. So that is what we first need to recognize. Then if you recognize this and you experience suffering yourself, you will recognize this is because of my own afflicted state of mind. It is because I have accumulated karma, I've engaged in actions, which is now coming to fruition. And from that perspective, actually, suffering then becomes beneficial. When you recognize suffering, it becomes beneficial, because then you will be able to develop a sort of fear regarding the causes of suffering. And that's very important. And you will refrain from creating these causes. So therefore, first it is essential that we recognize, we understand suffering, which means that we need to understand where the suffering comes from. And so it is for this purpose that this particular Dharma is being taught.
다 나이는마데 나딘지 내가 난디디지바 고토마면 나오 냐만 내가들이 노카리다기들 그리때 던스리 라랑게 레 타바차 레 타라 가레스다티 레 박차데 냠들이 동고요리 내가 남주지심지 되게 요고요리 여기서는 남만 동용 대야 보시오 세주왕아데 남르르르와도 르르왕아데 도도 룩 가리게 제도 로기와데 말은 좀 말이게 나디게 제도 다 내려가리들 다들 내 박차 남만 나서사고 들이 남주지 생기나 속차차 남만 나서더니 들이 대가지 안 가지 좀 매버심지 감성대도 감성시 대 탐지 처들 셈을도 셈 가리는 뒤도 셈 탐지 격대들 중 탐지 동네 말이 나한테 돈을 좀 저들은 놀래서 파 쪼시거리 세종이 직디 장미 받으면 장미만 중앙간에 마주하면 돼. 나 이제 집이 같이요는 나디를 마주하면 돼. 나디들 내다 박차지다 뉴먼 버티다 그런데 뉴먼 버티면 야 해당 사인지과 또복 사인지과 ngajar sa tomo ngajar sa tomo dar ngajar sa docha che xedang me chado long ta de namka de dang de ngai de ma de yang la wo de ta de mo de rio de ha ko so la de ta rang de sem le yong de de xi la de ta de sem nang se de chang me de su pong de 답 되어는 나타 용화데 이 남쪽 평부대전 용화 감촉을 이 매개방는 세지 남쪽에서 이제 설나 대속 대상대 같이 물린 찾기니지 물린을 대다다 내가 박차 뒤로는 대 기왕하마를 내대 이제 와자 찾기들을 들었대 뭐지 내대 찾기는 되네 이 찾기 라면은 들이대다 대독 잡을 내게 내지 사바들 가시를 대와 가시를 너무 대동 지마리 대리 용디까지 잠벌들을 뛰어랑잖아 오 시합지를 레좀비 하고 듣고 요래 오 레좀비 하고 듣고 요래 대리 시합을 나시 좋은 거 많이 되니 상하죠 대리 다지 무슨 남바사지에 대마 놀래 레좀비를 뒤에 시와서는 하고도 없어 대 하고는 뒤들이 잡을 잡으나 오 잡을 때 자체 버리면 말해야 돼 샘지들이 갖다 찍어 샘지만 샘지 탐색을 페이스고 요래 빼나 데이터 때 샘지 용지 다사지 좀지의 용지인데 내 하고는 오 상지 용지 삼차시 다 레점들이 레점들 미니 시적 레점들 신기게 다 잡을 약합체 보도 잡아도나 이사로 가르쳐거든 야 라만 저기 데이터 삼는 동거를 머신이지 머신으로 맞아 돈을 가르쳐거든 땅아코 다들 총속들이 나한테 나도 나발을 내다가 제당대야 레좀데 마시리 주일들이 samti umi dangdi ki chongi dangdi chiwa mati kari chigado o te dangdi ki chugres o te sa yepi ko lo mate daman ramang mato che mate te samlo kari chigado ti samlo te kari tangdo te tama gaba dewa yore te tamji yes samlo tokdo ti tawa samlo to te soso ke te ta saje tokdi de songhe ta o ta sama chemi jar samlo tangna 다 몸이 감성 세지 담제 대화다 대이도 몰란다 배 칼람이 따봐서 많이 봐다 무엇들이 라리 다 용도 어 무슨 자와지 하고 소는들이 주제 자와서 좀 생성 대하고 제대로 거를 보지 됐어 말이 다다 문제들이 다다 가봐대서 대우가르테요 다 용왕가 되니 유몽 망도 레사로 들다 레드 무슨 매 다다블은 애들이 사면도 뭐 총도 없는데 가르쳐 주고 요래. 때렸다는 또 매일 내가 제당데 말싸는 땅. 파 뛰지서 말싸는 땅. 저랑 토로싸는 땅. 다 소지사 바까지 좀 거도. 가고 소서 되고 거도. 그 싸워 하고를. 그리 때렸다랑 피바다 얘는 대화 가리리. 양은 얘는 노바다랑 동네 때 가리리. 다디데 랑은 노바다 얘는 동네. 상태에 얘는 피바다랑 대화 이 사람들이 와하고는 들이 답을 쓰고 들이 답을 다 상상서를 사람들과 공장장 대비하는 감성 천지나 다다다 비는 그답 수고하려 사지 좀 내가 소노들이 원택계적으로 감성 천지를 핑계 요리시 별은 자신을 두 레벨 속차 탑들 핑계 뒤에 답을 뒤를 다 때려 가리고 다 좋다고 거거든 다 좋다때 뒤에 또 어떻게 써야지 다 거를 뭐지 다 사지셔 다봐 나좀 사지 답들이 다 대다다 요 말이 대다 요 말이 사고요. 요 말이 요리지 셈데 요리 셈 남가라 죽은 남가다 왜 셈간 고타서 찔러도 요 말이 내 요리스. 롱건 자초도 속을 쏘았다가 대비지를 의석에 롱동제 걸 뭐지 무슨 팸네 송걸 망보 요리들 대화들이 로지 요리지 문통 요리지 소소라는 거 때다 담말하면 뭐랍니다 무슨 뭐나 답을 요리 대박을 고치고래 고치고 다다고 답답했지 다음 레좀데 시 드립 답답했지 드립 냠처럼 드립 문인 제베치 보토야 요래 별로 대는 다다다 다음에 답답을 나는 가리 나와 삼질 라마 거스 내는 이 갑자기 세티도 대신 뭐 독서를 하고 두고 요리 답답이 총총되는데 가장 동사고 쑥무때다 딱 요리한 거를 보자 강랑으로 말해 좀 매바지 죽어다 가도 참대 요래 말아래 송 요래 나 가려면 뭐 도서 강랑 뭐니스 야 참대 요래 누가 나에 강을 참대 요래 썩어 쏘았다고 나한테는 요래 뭐 만나는 것을 송도 왔어 나봐 사지 봐 용티 줌라고 말이지 대사로다 뒤지지 때래 답 가려냐 앞들어 뒤는 사과도 뭘 뭐지 답들 롱띠 답들은 됐네 무슨 때마 때역 답들 롱띠들 대디 송바다 다다 좋다 냠들 다 적다 대대는 다 소아들 배는 너가 뭐도 다 치는 거 소리 그거 다 배는 너가 딱 깨달아 딱 무슨 통통고 요래지 대대다 냠이게는 이런 거는 뭐지 답들 제발 봐 도망 많이 봐 대회들이 담색에 다다다 맞지 진짜 많이 봐 다작하니 라는 강화 매봐 담색에 전체 매봐 냠들 낸 거래 강량을 로열 솔로 대들이 강지 하면 되어 봐 대담이 냠들인지 제대로 것이 통통통통 답답하면 제가 요래 대다고 참에 세면 송고해지
Yeah. So we have mentioned the outer, the inner, and secret. And it's important that we first understand the connection between outer, inner, and secret. So on the outer level, there are the outer 5 elements: earth, water, fire, space, earth, water, fire, wind, and space. And then these are connected to our inner 5 elements in our own body. So, for example, the earth element is the flesh and and the bones, and the water element is, for example, the blood, and the wind element, our breath, fire element, our body heat, and then the space element, our mind. These are interconnected. And so how do they come together to form this body? The self-grasping mind, this concept of me and I that exists, is like a magnet that pulls these elements together to form the body. And so this concept of an existing I, we have habituated to this concept since beginningless time in samsara. And all our coarse and subtle karmic imprints arise from this concept of an I, a me. So this is how all sentient beings become embodied. So the 5 outer elements have this connection to the 5 inner elements of the body. And so again, what is it? What is the magnet that holds it all together? It is the self-grasping, the concept of a me. And then from within this self arise the habitual propensities, the karmic imprint. And as a result of that, we can see a great variety of sentient beings, all kinds of beings, large and small, beings with a body, beings without a body. There's the beings of the 3 realms, the beings in the form realm, formless realm, and the desire realm. So it all is the mind of self-grasping gathers together the elements and then creates the existence, the appearance of sentient beings. So the root cause of that, as it is said, is self-grasping. All suffering without exception comes from wishing for one's own happiness. But that is what we need to understand. We need to understand how to gather it all into a single origin, but then also we need to understand how this single ground can manifest as a great diversity. And even though the universe and sentient beings are limitless, the universe consists of the 5 elements. Even though it has manifold appearances, nothing is separate from or transcends the 5 elements. And likewise, even though there are myriads, millions of sentient beings, they all arise out of the mind of self-grasping. And so the afflictive emotions are also connected to the elements. And so earth element is related to pride. Let's see, what are the elements? Earth. Then I think ignorance on both sides is water. Attachment is water. And so pride is earth, attachment is water, hatred is fire, jealousy is wind. And then ignorance is space. And so that is also good to understand. And so if you understand the relationship, then you will have a way to, in a simple way, create peace and happiness in your mind. But there are some people in the world who naturally everything comes easy to them and they are not sick all the time. Their minds are not disturbed. And that is because their inner elements, the afflictive emotions and how they relate to the 5 elements are in balance and not disturbed. So, when it comes to karma, there is a long-term and a short-term effect of our actions. In the long term, we speak from lifetime to lifetime, in future lifetimes, karma ripens. And in the short term, in this lifetime, we experience all sorts of happiness and suffering in this very lifetime. So as human beings in this world, we experience both happiness and suffering. And we just actually find that karma is somewhat lighter. The quality of being born as a human being in this world is that human beings possess intelligence that allow
So we'll take a 30-minute break. Be back at 11 o'clock Pacific time. Remember, during this retreat, we are going to be counting mantras. And if you go to our website, garchen.net, you'll see the mantra counter on the homepage. We'd love to have your mantras counted, and we'll be sharing them with Rinpoche at the end of the retreat.